Assalamu alaikum and welcome to ReUSEful, a series where we show you how to reuse what you already have and turn it into something truly useful. This is a space to rethink what we have and how we use it. My name is Maida, and I'm completely new to DIY. Alhamdulillah, I get to learn alongside Nusrat, who brings years of hands-on experience and creativity to the show. Assalamu alaikum, Nusrat.
Walaikum salam, Maida. How are you?
Good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
So what are we doing today?
So today we're going to be working on this little nightstand. So as you can see, it has a lot of drawings on it, and there's so many scratches and just general wear and tear. And with kids, you know, everything is a canvas for them.
Yes.
They draw everywhere, and everything just gets worn down quicker. But I was thinking, instead of throwing it away, we can salvage it and bring new life into it and create it into something that can grow with them.
Awesome. I'm really excited about this project because I definitely have a few pieces of furniture that just look just like this. So I'm excited to learn. So what sort of tools or supplies do we need to get started?
So some of the tools we'll be needing are a microfiber cloth just to wipe this down, get rid of any dust or grime.
Okay.
We'll also be needing some glue, wood filler, wallpaper or contact paper for the inside of the drawer, and paint and shellac and any other tools like paintbrushes and a roller.
Okay, awesome. So what's the first step?
So first we'll just wipe this down. If you can just grab that cloth right there.
Okay.
It's already damp. Prep seems like usually a tedious step, which a lot of people, especially like initial DIYers miss. They just go straight to, they just want to finish the project.
Yeah.
So I think prep is very important for just to make sure that the project in the end turns out good, and just to not waste time and money doing it again and again.
And was this just water that you have on
Yes, this is just water. But if you have like grime stains or if you have oil stains on it, you can also use a degreaser.
Okay.
And that will remove any oil from it so that the primer can stick better.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I think that's done. And then the next step is that we will kind of just take off this knob right here, disassemble that. If you can just pass me a little screwdriver.
Right here?
So each piece will be different. You can have like multiple drawers on your piece. We just want to take off the knob.
Okay.
Because we're going to be painting and priming it, and we'll just keep this aside to work on that later.
Okay, great.
And then let's move on to sanding the top of this.
Okay.
Okay, so let's prep our surface with the drop cloths. And then, yes, we'll start with the top of it because that's where the most damage is.
Yeah.
Maybe you can put it down this way.
All right.
It'll be easier to sand it. And then if you can just grab the sanding blocks, and we're just going to scuff sand it lightly.
Okay. And scuff sanding, what exactly is that?
So scuff sanding is basically just sanding the surface lightly. We're not going all the way down to the wood grain. We just want to get rid of some of the texture and some of the extra marks so that we can paint it. But if you wanted to stain this, go to a natural wood finish, then you would sand it with an electric sander and go all the way down to the grain.
Okay, so this is just like a lighter sort of sanding?
Exactly.
Okay. You know what's funny? I once attempted a DIY, and thinking back, I don't think I sanded the cabinets. So this was like these are bathroom cabinets.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I don't think I sanded them, so the paint is always chipping.
Oh yeah.
So I'm assuming it's because I didn't sand, right?
Yes, so you definitely need to sand, especially bathroom cabinets. They already have like a gloss or a sheen to it.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that you sand it well, and then the primer and the paint will stick better and it won't chip. Okay, so I think we're done sanding. Let's just wipe off all the sawdust with the cloth, with the damp cloth we used earlier. Okay, great.
And then there's paper towel here, I guess I can use that?
Yes, you can also use a damp paper towel for that. I just want to make sure all the dust is off so that the primer is not gritty when we're putting it on. So now we're just going to work on this dent over here right at the back.
Okay, this chip here?
Yes, so if you can just grab the wood filler. Okay, so this is just wood filler. You just take a little bit and then you can just squeeze it in.
Okay.
Just like that. And then we can just smooth it out a little bit.
You can just use your fingers for
You
this?
can use your fingers, or if you want to wear gloves, that's completely fine as well.
Okay. Is this like the same as like filling in like holes in the wall?
It's similar. So wood filler is basically just sawdust mixed with glue.
Okay.
So when it dries, it hardens, and then you can sand it smooth. It will fill in the little dent.
Okay.
But the thing that you use for your walls is like joint compound. That's just for drywall, so it's not interchangeable.
Okay.
So we'll just let that dry a little bit.
Okay.
And once it's dry, we'll just sand it smooth again, and then we can go over it with primer.
Okay.
And also, if you have like big corners or like chunks missing, you can also use wood putty, and you can rebuild a corner instead of like just tossing the piece of furniture. So there's different options for like different kinds of scratches and dents.
Okay, that is so interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Okay, so next we will prime this. So if
Okay.
you want to grab the primer,
This here.
yes, that one. And then I'll grab the tray,
Okay.
and then I'll grab a roller. And then you can work with a brush. You can work
Awesome.
on the legs.
Okay.
We're just going to be doing thin layers,
Okay.
just so that it dries quickly.
Okay.
And we just want to go in nice, smooth, even layers. And I'm using a shellac-based primer.
Okay, what is that?
Okay, so shellac is usually better for furniture, which gets like a lot of wear and tear, and it's more durable, versus like a latex primer is usually for walls, or like an oil-based primer is for like natural wood to seal in any of the wood knots.
Okay.
But I find shellac-based primer is easier to use with little pieces of furniture. It dries quicker and it's more durable. Okay, we can switch here. You want to do the other side of the table, and then I'll work on the legs on this side.
Sure, let's do that. You know, I find that oftentimes these projects seem very intimidating, you know, like DIY projects. So even if you have like a bathroom that you want to like freshen up the look, and all it needs is really like a new paint, you're like, oh, maybe I'll just hire someone to do it instead of doing it yourself. Just because you don't have the skills, or
Right.
you don't know where to get started.
Exactly, but I think painting for me, I think is like the easiest upgrade that you can do. It's like a low cost and high impact way to upgrade your space or upgrade a piece of furniture. Because with contractors, if you do hire them out, it's really expensive usually.
Yeah.
Plus they'll take all the materials and paint that they brought with them. So at the end, you're just left with a painted spot.
Yeah.
But if you were to invest that money in getting tools yourself, you can use it for multiple projects as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can let that dry off to the side.
Okay.
So let's work on the front of the drawer. So let's add some trim. If you go back there, there's some white trim. Do you see the wooden trim at the back in the corner?
In the corner, yes.
If you can grab those pieces.
Okay.
Okay. So this is just an additional upgrade to it, just to make it more
Okay.
custom.
Okay, so this is just for aesthetics.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're just going to be adding like a little box trim right to the front over here.
Okay.
So first step is to measure. So let's see, this is 14 and 5/8, just the bottom part. 14 and 5/8. So let's mark it on our trim with a pencil.
I love how you measured both the top and bottom. I would have just assumed they're the same, so I would have just done the top.
They're usually never the same, so it's safer to just measure both separately, and I wouldn't cut both pieces at the same time all at once as well. I would like measure each part and then cut that, make sure it fits, and then move on to the next piece.
Okay.
So we're just going to be mitering the edges, which just means that we're going to cut it at a 45-degree angle instead of just like having it straight.
Okay.
So if you can just grab the miter shears, it's this orange
This?
tool. Yes.
Okay.
They just look like big scissors. It's locked right now, but we can unlock that. And then it has different angles on it. So we're going to be using the 45-degree angle. So we're going to turn that to 45 degrees, and we're going to cut that at that. So we just place it like this.
Should I hold this?
Yeah, you can hold that, and then I'm just going to line it up right here. Okay, let's see. There we go. Okay, so let's see if the measurements are correct. So do you see how it's going to just make a little box? And if you have a little bit extra, we can always sand it a little bit. Like this,
Okay.
you see this little
Yes,
corner?
sticking out.
It's sticking out a little bit, so we can sand that. And then for the bottom part, I will just put this like this, and sometimes it's just easier to measure directly on top of the drawer that you're working with.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to make a mark in which direction I have to cut.
Okay. Do you budget yourself? Like when you're thinking of like your DIY project, are you like, okay, I'm going to give myself like this much for this DIY or this project?
I do usually. So if I usually budget by the project. So if I'm working on like a nightstand or a dresser,
Yeah.
I'll give myself a budget of like $100 or something for that.
Okay.
And once that's saved up, I'll buy the supplies for it and work on it throughout the month, throughout the week, however long it takes.
Yeah.
So I like to budget by project wise.
Okay. So there is a lot of like thought and planning that goes into a project.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think some of these pieces we cut.
Are they off?
They're a little bit off.
Okay.
I think this we cut at the wrong angles because the trim is supposed to be facing inward. That's why. That's what's throwing us off.
Oh,
Do you see that?
Yes.
This is supposed to be going inward. So we have to basically cut this at this angle. Okay. Yeah, that looks better.
Okay.
And then, okay. This piece is off now. So it's just a little bit of trial and error and just making sure the measurements are correct.
Yeah. I think it's good to like show this, you know, that even as an expert or someone who's done this project before, things like this can happen, these sort of hiccups.
Exactly.
And that's okay. It just makes you slow down a little more.
Yes, and that's why you buy extra, a little bit of extra trim. Okay, bismillah. Okay. Let's hope this fits here. And then let's fit the last piece.
All right. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, that looks good. Any
Yes.
other little gaps we'll fill in with wood filler.
Okay.
But let's get this on. So if you can just grab the glue, the wood glue.
This?
It's that little bottle, the little one. Yeah, right there. So we're just going to attach it with some wood glue and then just add some tape to hold it down.
Okay.
And then instead of gluing this on, we're just gluing it on just for our sakes. But you can also use a nail gun. You can use a hammer and nails as well
Okay.
to stick the trim on.
Where would you do it so that you can't see the nail or you
So
can't
you would see the nails, so you would
Okay.
just do it right in the front.
Okay.
But you can fill those little holes with the wood filler again.
Oh,
and then sand
awesome.
it and then paint it, and then you won't see that again.
Okay.
Okay, so this glue will take some time to dry.
Okay.
But while it's drying, we can just put on a few clamps,
Okay.
and that will just hold it pressed down. And if you don't have clamps, we have painter's tape, so that's just easier as well. So we'll grab that as well and then do the sides because the clamps only work on this edge.
Okay.
They'll work on this edge, right?
That's good.
That looks good.
Okay.
Okay, so while this is drying, we can work on the inside of the drawer.
All right.
Okay, so for the inside, we're going to just be lining the inside with contact paper.
Oh, okay. Is that this?
Yes, that's that.
All right.
Just to make it look, instead of painting it, we decided to just add a fun peel and stick contact paper. You can use contact paper or even peel and stick wallpaper.
Okay. Is this like the same thing that you use to like line your kitchen cabinets?
It is,
And
yes.
drawers?
So yes,
Okay.
exactly. And it's a good material. It can be wiped easily. Even if the kids
Yes.
draw on it, you can take it off, and you can reapply it.
So you had mentioned like, you know, a few tools so far you've already mentioned. So as a beginner, what tools do you think are essential to have to start with? And like, what did you start your toolkit with?
So I started my toolkit, basically it was pretty basic. It was just a hammer, I think, and a measuring tape.
Okay.
Very basic. It's stuff that you already have probably lying around the house.
Yeah.
And those are just the essentials for any project that you're working on. And then as you grow in confidence with your DIY skills,
Yeah.
and as you start taking on more projects, you can start adding to your toolkit as well.
Okay, and how many projects do you think, like just like, you know, when you had your hammer and you had your measuring tape, were you able to do a lot of projects with just those two tools?
I was. So I was able to build some furniture, just like, you know, just boxed furniture. Those are easy. That's easy to make with those simple tools. And then I was also able to make like a bulletin board, like a pin board for my daughter's room. And that was a pretty basic project, just with using minimal tools and nothing, no electric or heavy duty tools were used for that.
Nice. And I'm sure most of us have a hammer at home or a measuring tape.
Exactly.
You know?
It's just a matter of putting it all together in your toolkit.
Exactly. And if we don't, we could borrow,
yes,
I guess.
you can definitely borrow from a friend or ask your neighbor, or even you can even rent them out. But some of those tools, like a drill or like a sander, they're pretty inexpensive.
Okay.
So I feel like as you slowly gain confidence and start doing more DIYs, you can add them to your toolkit.
Okay, so you would recommend, like, you know, getting the electric drill or?
Yes, I would, if you can.
Okay.
It definitely does make the process go faster and speeds up the process. So we have this measure. So now we're just going to peel the back off and then just stick it on. And then you can just take out any bubbles with a credit card or just smooth it out with a ruler.
Are you peeling it all at once?
No, I'm not peeling it all at once. So I'm just going to do the corners first. I'm going to lay it flat like that.
Okay.
Make sure the corners are in flat like that. And then you slowly peel it. And then you can press out the air bubbles as you're going.
Okay.
And then if there's any extra on the sides, we can just, with the X-Acto knife, we can just cut that off as well.
I remember when I was younger, my mom would make me do this inside the kitchen cabinets.
Yeah.
And it was so frustrating for me because I would just peel it all off and then it would all stick together. And it was one task that I just despise doing.
Yeah, that's a tip. You'd never want to peel it all off. You just do it little by little, and that's just so much easier. But it's a great way to kind of protect your cabinets, and if they get dirty, just wipe them clean.
Yeah, for
as well.
sure.
So now, if we have an X-Acto knife in there, I think the black, right there, the black one right here, just under, that
this?
one. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a sharp. Make sure you just have a sharp blade. If you have this edges, like this is going up the edges.
Okay.
So I'll just go along the bottom of the drawer front with the sharp blade, like that, and then you can just peel that piece off. It's pretty satisfying once you get the hang of it.
Dear viewers, as Nusrat finishes this up, let's go take a look at a cost breakdown for a similar project.
So now that we've done covering the inside of it with the wallpaper,
Okay, that looks really nice.
I think it looks really nice. We're just going to wood fill these gaps in the trim.
Okay.
And if you just pass me the wood filler, it's the same one we used earlier at the back of the nightstand.
Okay.
So we're just going to grab some and then just push it into these cracks and then smooth it out. Okay, so I think this is, it looks like it's dried out a little bit.
Okay.
So if that's not working, I usually cut off like a corner from the top. And that's where all like,
Oh,
do you see
okay,
that?
yeah.
That's easier to just come out, and then I'll just put it, and then just make sure you seal it back in like maybe like a Ziploc bag so it doesn't dry out.
Okay. Does it have to be at level? Like, is that okay, or should I add more?
Yeah, I think add a little bit more so it's flush with the trim.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
And then we'll just wait for it to dry completely.
All right, so what are we
So
doing?
this is the knob that we had. So it's in pretty good condition, but if you want to change it, you can always spray paint it a different color.
Okay.
But for now, we're just going to use a metal polish. It's right there in that little golden tube.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is just a gold leaf colors. It comes in different antique colors as well. Like you can get bronze or like silver or black, even if you wanted to change that. And then we're just going to use an old brush, old makeup brush. Yeah. And knobs are a quick and easy hardware change. So, and they're pretty inexpensive as well. You can get all sorts of different colored knobs or different characters depending on the style of your home.
Okay. Yeah, I think if I changed it to like a character, my son would be so thrilled with that.
Exactly. Or if he's like into dinosaurs or cars, like if
Yeah.
you change it to a car knob,
Yeah.
that would be really cute. He would enjoy that, I feel like.
And I think it also adds more sentimental value to your project, right?
Exactly. And then you can also make knobs out of their old toys. So I've seen people use like an old little dinosaur toy, and they cut that, and then they screwed it in into the dresser front, into the drawer. So that's really cute. I feel like if there's something that your kids are really attached to, that it will grow with them as well.
That's really cute. It can become like a keepsake.
Exactly. Okay, so next we'll move on to painting our
Okay.
nightstand.
This is the fun part.
Yes, exactly. This is dry.
Okay.
Okay. Let's get rid of this tray liner, and then we'll just grab a new liner for the tray. So this is also another way to save trays. You can get these liners. They're really inexpensive. You can even get it from like a dollar store.
Okay.
Just to preserve the tray. And then the paint is right there that we got. Let's open that up.
I'm excited to see the color. Oh, very nice. It's like a sage green.
Yeah, that's such a pretty green color. And it's pretty neutral. I feel like green is a neutral color, so it usually does go with everything. I'm just going to pour a little bit in the tray. I'm just going to fill up this roller for you, and you can start at the top.
I'm excited to be working with this color. It's so pretty.
It's really nice. There you go. And then I'll work with the brush on the legs.
You know, Nusrat, I feel like all the skills you've taught me so far, a lot of them are very transferable. So I'm already thinking in my head, like, what can I go home and like
what can you
use
paint?
these, or like use these skills for, you know?
Exactly. There's so many different things that you can paint in your house, any old furniture, or even like if you just want to add some trim to a piece to update it, or even if it's just a nightstand that you bought and you just want to change the knob, that even makes a big impact at a low cost.
Yeah, and instead of being like, oh, like we need to go out to the store and buy something new, you know, if my table's at home, there's paint on them or whatever it may be the case, I'm like, oh, you know, maybe I can fix this. It just kind of creates this very sustainable mindset where you're not just like, I need to buy new.
Right. And I think we should always be mindful of our consumption and overconsumption as well.
Yeah.
So it's better to just not run off to the store and buy something new. You can always try to figure out, and it makes you think creatively as well, right? Like you can just see, look at an old piece of furniture and see what can I do to this to make it unique, to make it my own, to make it different from what everybody else already has.
For sure. And also it really plays into being grateful for what you already have. Right? We live in a society where we're just so quick to being like disposing items. Whereas this really teaches us to be grateful for what we've already purchased with what Allah Ta'ala has already given us and use it over and over again.
Exactly. It's a great way to be not wasteful.
Yeah.
So with this brush, I can see there's sometimes the fibers from the brush come off, which is not a problem. You can just do a light sand in between, and that will just take the fibers off. So usually with the roller it's smoother.
Yeah.
But if you do see there's like dust fibers or like from brush hairs, you can sand those out later as well.
Okay.
Do you want to do the leg on that side?
Yes, Jazakallah.
And then I'll work on this side.
I know we talked about budgeting earlier too. But just like with your own experience, do you find that DIY usually saves you money, or do you think it costs more?
Depending on what project you're doing, it is oftentimes more inexpensive to try to do it yourself. And also it's an investment, and you're adding to your toolkit, you're adding to your skill set as well.
So would you say that the first couple of projects, like, expect to spend a little more money?
Exactly, building your toolkit, and then once you have all the tools, there's like endless opportunities to figure out what you want to create.
Awesome.
Okay, so now that the trim is dry, I'm just going to go over the drawers, over the drawer with a quick coat of primer, just so that it's ready for the paint. Now we're just going to paint the top of the drawer. Once the primer is dry, we're almost at the last step.
I can really see it all coming together now, and it's just the satisfaction of, you know, seeing everything you worked to build or create.
Exactly.
It's really nice. And also I love how it's not like you don't necessarily get that instant gratification because you have to take that time.
You have to work for it.
You have to work for it, It's more rewarding that way, I think.
Exactly. Okay, so now that our drawer is dry, we're just going to put the knob back in. So with the same screw, and then you can just screw it on. It's pretty simple.
All right.
So that's nice and tight, and then we'll just turn this around.
This is dry too?
Yep, that's pretty dry as well. Just plug that back in. Let's get that out of the way. And then we'll put the drawer back in as well. Okay. There we go. And then once the paint is fully cured, you want to maybe let it sit overnight, and then you can go over it with a sealer as well.
Okay.
Just for, especially for high traffic areas, you want to make sure that the paint is sealed, it's not going to chip.
Okay, cool. Can we turn around to see what this looks like?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that looks very nice. I love the gold with the green.
It looks really nice.
Yeah, that was really, really nice.
And then once inside, the wallpaper looks really nice as well. The
it
compact
matches.
paper.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is really nice. Jazakallah Nusrat. Honestly, you've given us so many skills today that, you know, we can take back and we can reuse things and make them reuseful again.
Exactly.
So Jazakallah. Dear audience, this has been ReUSEful, a series where we show you how to reuse what you already have and turn it into something truly useful. Jazakallah for joining us today in learning how to refresh our old furniture. Make sure to follow us on our social media at MTA Canada and share your creations with us. We look forward to seeing you next episode. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.